Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and for this video, I finished a whip and I wanted to talk about it. I'm making a whole video about the whip, the finished project, and the yarn. So I actually, when I made that video, I think in January, talking about whips I had had forgotten that I even had this one. What was I doing? I was digging around underneath this cabinet, this desk here, which is a mess again. And I found my Secret Path shawl. Now, if y'all remember, maybe almost a year ago now, dear Madonna Ballard, holy cats, I'm so sorry. I'll put a link in the description to her YouTube channel. The two of us did a swap, and she sent me this super cute Premeir Luna yarn. And I knew right away I wanted to make a Secret Path shawl because I never made one, and I was super happy to see that it is free on Ravelry. So not only will I put a link in the description to Madonna, I'll also put a link to the Secret Path shawl. Here is my black and white photo of it. It's a very textured triangle shawl. So you guys, I tried my hardest to do this exactly like the pattern, because sometimes I skip the edging or I don't like what I was doing and I stop. But this time I did exactly what it called for. Here is my Secret Path shawl. And all together, Donna gave me 3 balls of that yarn. And then just this past, I want to say maybe just before Christmas, or maybe it had to have been before Christmas. My swap partner, Laura, because I had Cindy at Christmas and I got Christmassy stuff. And then I had Patty at Valentine's Day. So Laura, just before Christmas, sent me 2 more of these balls of yarn. Now these balls of yarn, I wish I could show you again how cute they are. I'll put a link in the description to, because they're Premeir yarn. And I'll try to put a link in the description to Premeir. But also I know you can get these off of Amazon. And they're these really cute multicolored balls. Now I used 4 with this much left. And I actually did the edging just like the pattern called for. The only thing that I felt like with this pattern was, even though I love the color and I love this yarn, I didn't color control. So do you see right here? And right there, that really drives me nuts. Like for the first few rows, you can see to like right about here, it's almost perfect. But then as you get further and further along, there's all those parts where the yarn changed mid-row. And you know, if you are a long-time watcher, you know that drives me crazy. But I didn't have time and I didn't want to cut these all apart and rearrange them, and I just let it flow. The pattern is very simple to follow. I do feel like they could have possibly, when writing, and I can't complain. This design is by Yarn Lunda, Mojo Creations. I do feel like for some of the pattern, she could have been a little more like condensed, because basically, but it is a very easy format. It goes row by row. It says this is what you should do for row 1 all the way to row 3. Then it tells you to repeat row 3. Then it tells you what to do 5 through 8. And then it's a repeat of those rows for the rest of it until you hit the size you want. And then they have the edging. Now I will tell you the edging looks, to me, I did not do a very good job. I feel like the edging looks better. You can't hardly see it there. And when you go to Ravelry, I zoomed in so I could see. My edging does not look very pretty. That's what it looks like. I wish I could. Of course, I haven't woven in my ends. I mean, it does look decorated and more airy, but I'm not really a fan of it. And I don't know if it's because of my tension or because the color. And then, of course, what happened here is 1/3 of the edging is light teal. Then some of it is dark brown, and or dark blue. I'm going to be honest, I probably like the look of this part the better, the way the colors came out with that like kind of sea blue within the navy blue on top. and then it changed to like teal or turquoise. And then this part, the way the colors came out, these whole rows are all the same color. So, I mean, that's all up to color control. But, I mean, essentially it's done. It's a little big to wear like this. I mean, I've always seen people wear shawls like this. I feel like for me, it's so big to wear like that. Let's, I'll zoom it back. I'll move the camera back so you can see. Yeah, you know, it's really big. This is like one of those newfangled blanket shawls, essentially. That's what it is. I don't know. I don't know if I would wear it like that. I think really, honestly, what I would do with it is wear it across my shoulders like a granny. And then maybe even like drape it on my lap while I'm sitting on the couch for a little, if I'm a little chilled. So yeah, I really recommend heading over to Ravelry. Actually, Mojo Crochet has a website. When you go to Ravelry, it doesn't actually print the pattern from there. You've got to go to her website. So forget that. I'll just skip Ravelry. No offense, folks. I will just go to Mojo Crochet so that you, or Mojo, I don't know how she says it. And I'll just put a link right there. Now, the really awesome thing also about Joanna, what, again, however she says her name, I could show you, is she has this pattern in a whole bunch of different languages and British versus US terminology. So if you are someone that, you know, doesn't speak English or read well, and you watch these videos, you can still make this pattern. She's got a full page, and you just click on the language you need. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, now I will say I did use so when this pattern tells you the stitches, and then it starts you right in on the pattern. So in order to know what hook you're going to use, you should just follow what your yarn recommends. I know as an early crocheter, if it didn't say, I freaked out. But typically, most worsted weights use an H. This Premeir Luna yarn is a DK, so I used a 4. You know, so really it's up to you. If you want a more full lacy look, a more lighter look, maybe use a DK and a J, because I know that I've used mandala yarn before. I want to say it's with that One Dog Book Anorandak wrap, and she calls for a J, and that's mandala yarn, and it's also like a thin DK. So really, I would say if you're going to use this, don't be worried. There's no gauge. You just grab yourself a skein of yarn, look to see what it calls for, and then use that hook. So yeah, and if you tend to be a tighter crocheter, maybe loosen up, use a bigger, loosen up. That's me. I'm the one that's a tighter crocheter right now. Get yourself a little bit bigger hook. And if you tend to be a really loose crocheter, which is typically new people, well, you know what, to be honest, it's a horse apiece, right? Isn't it? But anyway, if you're a looser crocheter, get a smaller hook than what your yarn calls for. So it's really a very flexible pattern. And like I said, I used 3 3/4 of skeins to do this nice, big, beautiful blue shawl. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Premeir Luna yarn. I'm going to tell you what, folks, I love it. I just love it. I may have done a review already, so if I did, I'll like look through and see it and see if I can pull up a review. But I just wanted to say in general, it was a very lovely yarn, no splitting. There was not a single knot in any of the balls. And so I used 5 balls, and never once did I come to a spot where the yarn had any, like, you know, it just happens sometimes where they switch from one color or they ran out and they had to put more yarn in there. I never had that in any 5 balls. And the interesting thing is 3 of them came from Madonna Ballard and 2 of them came from Laura. So different places, different stores and whatnot, or maybe they ordered them both from line. I don't know. And none of them were that way. So I was really impressed with that. Also, the yarn had, what's the word? Consistency, a solid consistency throughout. I never had any of those sections where there was like a blurb where it was kind of like fuzzier or like matted up, and I never had a spot where it got real thin. It was the sizing of, and the twist of the yarn was consistent all the way through all 5 balls. So really a very nice yarn. And it has kind of a heavy drape to it for being a DK. It's definitely warm and cozy. So in general, I really love this yarn. I actually went to Premeir's website because Tammy Slay with Slay the Day with Crochet. She had posted in my Facebook group that Premeir was doing a flash sale. But by the time I got there, if this yarn had been on sale, it wasn't there. I did order some yarn, so thank you. Thank you very much, Tammy. So you'll just wait 7 to 10 days and I'll show you what I got. But yeah, I really love this. It's so beautiful. And I wanted to make one of these like texturized Secret Paths shawl for a while. And so I'm very happy to have it finished. I have a whip done and I'm so impressed. So thank you very much, Laura and Madonna. And now all I have to do is weave in my ends, and maybe I'll have Juanita wear it for a while. She's been cold over here in the corner. Because the new way I have set up my cozy corner over here, my crochet corner, I don't have room for Juanita in here. So that's all this video is. It's just talking about the Secret Path shawl and the Premeir yarn. I'll put in the link in the description to the actual website where you get this from. I'll put a couple links in for places where you can buy this Premeir Luna yarn because, like I said, it's amazing. I loved it. I want more. Plus, if you're someone that really loves cutesy yarn, not just that typical Red Heart yarn, it's super cute because it has these multicolor stripes and it looks so fun. And I want to say that it's no more than $5 for a ball of this beautiful yarn. I'll also put a link in the description to the YouTube folks I mentioned. So Madonna Ballard and Tammy Slay. Check out Tammy Slay. She's building her subscribers, and both those gals are super fun. Down to earth, real life people that you're chatting with. We still have a cough here in our house. So that is all this video is about. I am going to go to church, and then I'm going to come back home, and you guys, I promise you, I'm going to make the video about my big burlap blanket extra. The reason I'm putting it off is because I really don't know how to showcase the whole blanket. Let's be real, my room's a hot mess. I'm sorry to say. It's just a mess in there. And so having it draped over the bed, I'm quite frankly, I'm embarrassed for you to see that. Also, it's so big, like I can't really like lay it in the craft corner here. And because I always have, you know, kids and neighbor kids at the house all weekend, reserving the whole living room for the blanket is difficult. And some folks don't appreciate hearing my kids hollering and running around in the background. So I might just like, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. And do you guys really need to see how big it is? Because I did make it for a king size bed, and then I made it bigger because my husband, in his request for this blanket, wanted it to go all the way down to the side. And then, I don't know if any of you know this, some of you may, my husband put our bed on stilts, if you will, bed risers, but extremely high bed risers because he's 6'4", so he can just sit down in bed, whereas I have to hop to get up in bed. So that made the length of my blanket on the sides much longer than a normal person's king size bed that's only, you know, 6 to 8 inches off the floor. So that's why I'm kind of dragging my feet, because I just don't know what and when and where to do the video. But I wanted to give you the stats. I wanted to show you what it looked like. I wanted to tell you how many chains, how many skeins of yarn I used. And then I did release, or I do have another video where I showed you my technique of weaving, taking care of the ends. So I want to release that video. I might just have to suck it up and either show y'all my horrible messy room or have some people be unhappy that I have kids run around the house. We'll just have to see. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in after church. All right, folks, thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.